have learned in my work with women over the years is if you are on purpose and living with passion, your energy is unlimited. How do I know that? Because there was a time in my life some years ago when my fire had gone out. It was extinguished. I had a very successful company. It was an international and domestic company. On paper, it looked great. But you know what? I woke up every day and I was tired. I was tired. I just didn't feel like getting out of bed. I didn't know what was going on. Didn't want to meet with clients. Didn't want to move forward. I couldn't quite figure out what it was. It was because I'd lost my spark. And what I'm going to do today is talk with you about what I went through and what I take other women through to create your spark and kind of take a look at your journey. You know, how many people remember the book Alice in Wonderland? I've read it recently and seen the movie because I have a 4-year-old daughter. But remember when Alice fell down the rabbit hole? And everywhere she went, she was confused and she really didn't know where she was going until finally she meets up with the Cheshire Cat. And she says, "Cheshire Cat, which way should I turn? Should I go left or should I go right?" And the Cheshire Cat says, "What?" He says, "Why, Alice, where are you going?" And she says, "I don't know." And he says, "Then it doesn't really matter, does it?" Right? So she was down the rabbit hole and she was trying to figure out how to create her spark. And if she'd had these tools, she'd probably gotten out a lot easier. And there's 3 things that women need to ignite their fire. And they're on your sheet there. One is oxygen. One is fuel. And the last one is heat. Oxygen is what I refer to as self-care. You have to take care of yourself first if you're going to take care of others. But if I went around each table this morning and took a poll, I bet I'd find out something interesting. I bet I would find out that many times women are putting themselves last. We're not taking care of ourselves. We're taking care of others. Women are the only species on earth that can do 19 things before 8 o'clock, and we do them really well. And there's 4 things that I really advocate that women should take care of in a way they should take care of themselves that's part of your self-care. You need to take care of your mind. You need to take care of your body. You need to take care of your relationships. And you really need to take care of your creativity, your right brain. That's one of the things that I work on with my clients and in circles. And that is possibility thinking. If you think about your conversations or your thoughts throughout the day, are they more possibility? Or do we always think sometimes the glass is half empty or the glass is half full? I kind of like to call it possibility, thinking of possibilities. Sort of like, I always think of it as like a circle that's the sun with all my possibilities sparking outward. So possibility, creativity helps with that. So all right, oxygen, mind, body, relationships, creativity. What's next? Fuel. We need fuel, ladies. What is fuel? Fuel is our support system. You can't do anything in this life without a good support system. And this is one area where I find a lot of times that women don't realize that when they see women who are accomplishing a lot and doing a lot, they don't realize that they've got a big support system. Okay, and I call this your PBAs, not to be confused with the PB&J that you made for your kids before you came here this morning, but a PBA, your personal board of advisors. Okay, let me prime your thinking a bit because you should have no less than 6 PBAs in your life. Who's your encourager? Who's your mentor? Who's your coach? Who's the woman in your life that's a little bit older than you that has that sage wisdom, the wise woman? Who's your millennial? Who's your 20-something gal who's going to keep you in line with the trends? Because if you're selling a service or a product that is geared towards the younger, towards 20-somethings, you need to know what they're all about because they are really of a different education, a different mindset today about how they want to get things done. So you've got to surround yourself with your personal board of advisors. Number 3, the heat. We've got to create the heat. There's 2 solutions under heat. Okay? One is, this is the Big Idea book. Yes, it is. It's $1.49 at Staples, by the way. I love it. You know, the big, beautiful leather-bound journals with this, they're beautiful. I have one on my bedside table. So you know what I do is, and everybody in my circle gets one. We all use them. You open it up and you date the inside cover, and when you come up with your big idea, you just date it. And you write your entry. And you know what happens over time? You start to see a pattern. You start to see a thread weaving through your big idea or what you're thinking about. Really, really important to have the Big Idea book. But you know what has to go along with the Big Idea book? The big questions. You got to ask yourself the big questions, right, when you do that. This is Smart Women, Smart Solutions logo. And the reason I chose it is because I really believe our lives, a woman's life, is a bit like a nautilus shell. Okay? You see how massive this is? This is the outer part of the shell, and it's huge. You know what this is? This is the external self. This is what I tell women is our external self. It is our ego self. It is what our environment, our world, our education, it's what a lot of people in a lot of places tell us that we should be, okay? You see this little space right here? That's our soul. That's our core. That's our authentic self, okay? How often do we hear the authentic self? Because out here, what's out here? Cell phones, iPods, children, work, all these external things that are going on with us, and the external self, the authentic self, she's always speaking to us every day, but we can't hear her because she's competing with a lot of things all day long. So you have to give yourself that space, that peaceful, reflective space where you can listen to the authentic self. And when you're listening to the authentic self and you've got your personal board of advisors, you've got to ask yourself the big questions. Now, in our circles, I have a whole lot of exercises and things that we go through in order to help you with this. But I'm going to give you 3 questions. Describe a time in your life when you felt passionate and inspired to be alive. Number 2, what's the most important thing missing from your life right now? And number 3 is the biggie. It is, in my mind, the biggest. This is the question that changed my life. I was in a gathering of women. I had my personal board of advisors, and here's the question. If you knew you could not fail, what would you do today in your life? If you knew you could not fail, what would you do today in your life? You know what I said? I said I'd work exclusively with women, helping them design and build the lives they choose. That's a true story. It's exactly what I did, and here I am. So what I'm doing, I love it, and I've got unlimited energy for it. So this is important stuff, and it's good stuff for you to do occasionally, but here's what you have to do. Remember, you've got to have your oxygen, you've got to have the fuel, and you've got to have the heat. You've got to have your personal board of advisors on board. You can't have a cell phone, you can't watch television, it's a time when you're not with your family, you can't be doing anything else. You've got to get really peaceful and reflective so you can hear it. Okay? I hope that these solutions that I've given you are going to be helpful to help you create your own spark. And you know what? I'll be listening for the fire engines. Be well.
She talked a lot about taking care of me first, and that's something I really don't do. I'm a giver, and I have taken care of everybody else. In my job, I take care of other people, so I really know it's important, but she reinforced that for me. You know what I particularly did like about hearing from Joy's talk was that sometimes you need to go to people that really don't know you, because your family and your friends are very judgmental, and they have you kind of in a box. And if you would really go out of that box with people that didn't know you and give you feedback. So I'm really considering it, yes.
Definitely self-care and putting myself first. Like completely related to what she was talking about, and it's totally appropriate for where I'm at right now. So as far as waking up and being kind of tired, not being real motivated, so definitely the self-care.
Smart Women, Smart Solutions is a full-service coaching and consulting firm devoted to enriching the lives of women who are making a difference in their careers, in their homes, and in the world. Offering individual coaching, business consulting, workshops, and circle gatherings for peer support, the purpose of Smart Women, Smart Solutions is to help women reach their full potential and achieve what they most desire. Joy Chudacoff, the founder of Smart Women, Smart Solutions, has been a successful entrepreneur for almost 2 decades. She's a highly skilled group leader, business consultant, and certified coach. Joy has helped scores of women design the lives they choose to live. Helping women realize and achieve better ways of living is her passion, her mission, and her business. As a wife and mother of 2, Joy understands that there's more to life than one's career. Like many women who are drawn to entrepreneurship, she inhabits a world that requires the integration of business and home life. Joy works one-on-one and in groups to help women define success on their own terms, identify outlets for their creativity, create businesses and manage careers anchored in their most important values.